Hey guys, it's Lizard here, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing different types of clicking methods and which one I recommend overall. I've got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Bedwars commentary, and I really do hope you guys enjoy this one because it is an interesting discussion for me. If you do end up enjoying today's video, please consider subscribing, it really does help out so much. Also, feel free to leave your opinions on the subject down below and which clicking method you think is the best, but with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so today we're going to be discussing different clicking methods, of course. I haven't done a commentary in a while, so hopefully this goes well, but the main clicking methods we're going to be talking about today are normal clicking, jitter, and butterfly. I'll also talk a little bit about drag clicking, but it's really not the main subject. Alright, first off, let's talk about normal clicking. It's the easiest and most obvious to understand. All you're doing is pressing down on your mouse with your finger, pretty gently, over and over again on repeat. The reason I like normal clicking so much is because it's very easy, you can control it really well, and you don't have to think too much when you're doing it. The biggest disadvantage to normal clicking is that you're going to have lower CPS than you would with any other clicking method, really. It's the slowest clicking method by far, but the reason for that is just because it's the easiest. For things like bridging and PvP, your CPS is quite an important factor. You want to make sure that you are getting a good enough CPS when you're doing bridges such as diagonal bridging or of course Godbridge, moonwalk, etc. The fastest you'll be able to bridge is pretty much a speed bridge unless you can single click Godbridge, which I must admit is very impressive and not the easiest. CPS is also very important in 1.8 PvP, and for that reason, if you're only clicking like 8 CPS normal clicking, someone who's 20 CPS butterflying is probably going to take a lot less knockback and have an easier time comboing you. That's not to say you won't be able to combo with normal clicking. It's one of my favorite ways to combo personally, but it's just not as easy. Comboing with normal clicking is something that takes a lot of accuracy and timing, and that's not something everyone's able to do, especially if you're newer to the game. The reason I normal click in most of my videos is just because I really don't think I need to bother clicking an insane amount of CPS for a game like Bedwars. It's usually not the sweatiest thing in the world, even though it can get sweaty at times. I think the next clicking method to talk about after normal clicking is definitely jitter. You're still clicking with one finger, except what you're doing is you're tensing up your wrist at the same time. The reason tensing up your wrist really helps is because it kind of makes your hand vibrate a little bit, and what this does is it lets you click a lot faster because your hand is very shaky on your mouse. This is a very good clicking method for PvP. It helps you get higher CPS while still not being frowned upon like certain other clicking methods are. Okay, wait, I gotta get past this guy. Okay, we got him. Because the clicking method relies on you tensing your wrist, it is quite a shaky clicking method, and for this reason, a lot of people that jitter click have People that jitter click tend to have low sensitivity. The reason for this, of course, is just that it's very inaccurate, and without low sensitivity, they're going to be all over the place shaking their hand, and it's not very accurate for PvP. Jitter clicking is also a little bit bad for bridging because, like I said, the shakiness in your hand is something that's quite difficult to apply to bridging. Hit him again. No, I thought that second one would get him. I guess I have to fight this. I have to fight this. GG. Alright, I'll continue on in the next game. In the last game we talked about normal clicking and jitter clicking. Both of these are single finger clicking methods that are pretty easy to get behind, but both do take a fair amount of practice to get good at. The thing about normal clicking is that you really need to have good aim to use it effectively. The thing about normal clicking is that you have to have good aim to make it effective in PvP. You have to play really low sense for jitter clicking, otherwise it's going to be very shaky and difficult to use. But the next clicking method I want to talk about is butterfly clicking. Butterfly clicking is probably the most popular clicking method for Bedwars because you can get up to like 20 CPS with not as much effort as many other clicking methods. Other than buying a drag clicking mouse and clicking like crazy, it's probably the easiest way to get 20 CPS. Butterfly clicking is the best way to get an insane amount of CPS for PvP because obviously drag clicking is not viable, but I'll get to that in a minute. If you can't double click while butterflying, you're probably only going to get about 10 to 12 CPS. If you can double click, you'll get upwards of 20 CPS. With that being said, it takes a lot of practice as well. Me personally, I average about 17 to 20. If you practice enough, you can get good at bridging with butterfly clicking as well because it's very good for things such as one stacking, diagonal speed bridging. There's a YouTuber you've definitely heard of by now named Zin69, and he's absolutely insane at Godbridging with butterfly clicking, which I'll be honest is well beyond me. I have no idea how that even works. I assume he's just kind of got a muscle memory for timing, and when he butterfly clicks, I assume that kind of activates in his mind. But that's still very impressive to me, and not something that you should expect to be able to do with butterfly clicking. Before I get into my final thoughts, I want to mention drag clicking. Drag clicking has become amazing for the bridging community because it lets us hit speeds that we never thought were even possible in the past. For PvP, it's not great, but of course modes like MLG Rush are still good. Now that I've brought up all 4 clicking methods, I want to compare each of them and see which one is the best. To start off with PvP, our main options are jitter clicking, normal clicking, and butterfly. My personal favorite out of the 3 for PvP is 100% normal clicking. It's really just such a great method to use because it lets you rely on your aim and it makes it feel a little more skilled when you get a big combo. Jitter clicking is also a really popular method, and it's probably the best method to use on sweatier servers such as mine, men, or lunar. The reason for this is that you'll get a high amount of CPS while still not butterfly clicking, which can get you banned on those servers. For butterfly clicking, it is a great clicking method. You get a lot of CPS. I find it's less skill based, and a lot of people who butterfly in PvP don't actually know how to combo, which does tend to be a big downfall for them, because if someone can butterfly click only 10 to 12 CPS, they're not going to be able to combo someone who knows how to aim their hits with 10 CPS. With that being said, if someone can butterfly 20 CPS, they are at a bigger advantage than someone who's going to be timing their hits. For PvP, I'm leaning more towards normal / jitter clicking and a little mix of both for people who know how. Once you get used to normal and jitter clicking, it's pretty easy to do, and as long as you don't overuse them, it is going to be very good for fights, and I think it's a little more skill-based than butterfly in my opinion. That's not to say butterfly isn't good, but I personally think that jitter clicking is a little more accurate, and I feel bad. You know, he's just down there. Well, while he's at that, I'm gonna go get his bed real quick, I think. This guy's actually just lost his bed to that. That's so funny. With that being said, if you do want a butterfly, go right ahead. It's a great clicking method, just don't use it on servers that disallow it because it will probably get you banned eventually, especially if you're clicking 20. Like a lot of you probably know, I'm very into bridging and I've recently learned how to tellybridge. Normal clicking for bridging is a really good way to do it, especially if you're only trying to speed bridge. Speed bridging is a really fast method that not a lot of people actually take as much advantage of as they should. And normal clicking also works for things like breezily, moonwalk, and Godbridge. You just don't see it as often because it's a lot more difficult. Jitter clicking for bridging is good. It can allow you to jitter bridge. It makes it easier to do things such as diagonal speed bridging and one stacking, but it isn't great for non-shift bridging. If you can butterfly click an insane amount of CPS, you will be able to diagonal Godbridge. You can also use it to time Godbridges and other things, but that is a lot more difficult. Bap, get out of here. Awesome. He's running for his life at the moment. Understandably so. The last clicking method we want to talk about for bridging is, of course, drag clicking. Drag clicking is definitely the best clicking method, hands down. There's no chance. Okay, that guy's going for my base, so we're gonna have to go here. But of course, drag clicking is definitely the best method for non-shift bridging. It can take you anywhere from breezily bridging all the way up to speed tellying, which is absolutely insane. And if you want to get to that point, drag clicking is definitely the way to go. As far as drag clicking goes for PvP, it's definitely not the best. You can do better. And it might also get you banned on a lot of servers because the anti-cheat gets flagged when you click an insane amount of CPS on a player for an extended amount of time. Is he aware? Bop. He didn't take knockback. Is this guy hacking? Yo, I'm scared now. Do feel free to comment your opinions down below because I really do think that this is something that varies person to person. People tend to practice one clicking method a lot more than the other. For me, that's definitely normal clicking and drag clicking, but for you, it could be the opposite. I really also want to say thank you to everyone that made it this far in the video. You guys are amazing. And yeah, let's finish up this game with a win. He's very confident that I'm not going to be able to knock him off here, which scares me. Come on. Let's go. I'm sorry, I didn't want to do that, but he wasn't taking knockback. We both know that. If you guys did enjoy the commentary, please consider subscribing. It really does help out so much. But with that being said, that is going to do it for today. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.